Good morning, ladies and gentlemen in Grand Colony in Nigeria. I remain your own brother, Reverend Dr. Bartholomew Agbochano, coming up this morning to clarify some certain things. We give glory to God Almighty for this morning. A very quick one. So many people have been calling on me saying, Reverend Doctor, say something concerning what happens in the NGO, the NGO's operation, when Theobar's grant is disbursed. Some people are changing the tides. Some people are filling MOU forms and the rest of them. And there are some NGOs that are swapping away from the original plan of Theobald Global Foundation. Say something, please, Reverend Doctor. Appeals come my way in various forms from various corners, and I feel obliged to say something this morning. Please, please, and please, let us all listen. In life, what you do for others will serve you better than what you do for yourself. The CEO of Theobald Global Foundation is a man of God, a man of honor, a man who believes in imparting humanity. And as many of us as are subscribers to his grant should also be influenced by his way of life. Don't be selfish. Think on imparting on others. To hit the nail on the head, the arrangement has not changed. That at disbursement, each cluster will be hit with 2 billion. 2 billion naira. Out of this 2 billion naira, 1.8 billion goes to the prospective beneficiaries for each to go home with 1.8 million naira. The remaining 200 million stays with the NGO. If the NGO is the one that gathers the data and also pays for the data, then the NGO takes the whole 200 million. But there are instances whereby the data are not all submitted by the NGO. There are instances whereby somebody submits the data and also pays for the data. If somebody submits data to the NGO and also pays for the data, then out of the 200 million, 100 million stays with the NGO, while 100 million goes to the person who donates the data and also pays for the data. The person who submits data is called the data donor, while the person who pays for the data is also called the data sponsor. If the person who donates the data is the same person who sponsors the data, then the 100 million will go to that person. There is equally an instance whereby the NGO is not the data driver. The data driver is different, But the data driver that submits the data is not able to pay for the data, but someone else pays for the data. The data submitter is called the data donor, as I have said earlier. And the person who pays for the data is the data sponsor. So if the data donor is different from the data sponsor, then out of the 200 million naira, 100 million naira stays with the NGO. Then 50 million naira goes to the data donor, while 50 million naira goes to the data sponsor. That is how it is supposed to be. You, as an NGO owner, the data are being donated to you for this job. Please, I would like you to behave like a Christian if you are one, and to behave like a Muslim if you are one. Don't be too greedy, because all about life is not getting something. To get something is one thing, and to be able to enjoy that thing is still another thing. God gives us both. God gives us the ability to possess. And God also gives us the ability to be able to enjoy that thing that we have possessed. The Bible which I read tells me that godliness with contentment is great gain. Yes, if you are godly and you are contented with the thing you have, being contented with what you have is great gain. I don't want us to be too greedy. Let us not be greedy. You know, if you are an NGO head, God has made way for you. There are several others that could be NGO heads like you that are not. And even these people could even be heavier than you in all ramifications. But they are not NGO heads. But you are an NGO head. I want to encourage you, I want to advise you to be content with where God has kept you. As an NGO head, when the data donor is supposed to get his 50 million naira, don't reduce it to 30 million naira, please. And when the data sponsor is supposed to get 50 million naira, don't reduce it to 30 million naira. I feel I feel compelled to say this thing for your own good. Because what is not yours, if you take it to yourself, then you may be inviting danger upon your life. This life that we have is not ours, it's God's. But God entrusted it into your hand to manage it well. Don't be too greedy. Don't be too greedy. To be factual, as an NGO head, on each cluster, and even if it is one cluster you submitted, and of course, it cannot be one cluster, as a subscriber, as a partner to Tuber's Global Foundation, the least clusters that you can submit is 20. And out of that 20 clusters, assuming you were not the cluster drivers and the cluster sponsor, and you have to have 100 million naira in 20 places, that is 2 billion. Assuming you were able to submit only 20 clusters. Ogami, as you are there now, and you don't have 1 million naira in your account, and even if you have 1 million naira in your account, you may not have up to 100 million naira in your account. And when Tubat pays, you are jacked up to 2 billion. Ogami, you should be satisfied. You should be contented. And allow those who should get 50 million to get their 50 million. Please, I beg of you. This is Christianity. Christianity is not just to open your mouth and be talking. Christianity is not to keep quiet. There are some people, they are quiet, but they are dubious. Like me now that I'm always talking, some people, they give me name. They say, Daddy talk, that I am always lousy. Ogami, I am lousy and I know what I am doing. Anybody who sponsors clusters in my own NGO must get the 50 million. And anybody who donated the cluster must get their 50 million, except Theobat changes the formula. If Theobat does not change the formula and you donated cluster to my NGO and you also pay, you are entitled to 100 million. This is Reverend Dr. Bartholomew Agbochano for you. And if you did not submit cluster and you paid for a cluster you came and sponsored, be expecting your 50 million. As far as I am concerned with Theobat, the remaining that I have can multiply your own that I'm giving to you by 50 or by even 100. Why should I be in a hurry to dip hands into the small one that you have? The one that God has given me, don't I need good health to enjoy it? That good health, does it come only by you obeying the rule of diet? No, there are some people who operate on diets and yet they don't have the good health. Number two, the money that I will have, don't I need security to enjoy that money? And the security in this country that we are inside, is it only in the hands of policemen? Is it only in the hands of the military? No. There are some people who may be protected by the military. What of Abacha that died in 1998? Of course, 6th June or 7th June 1998. Was he not protected by the military, but yet he died? So protection is not in the hands of the military. Protection is in the hands of God. Acknowledge this God. Whatever you are doing, make sure you carry God along. Many of you that carry your cluster heads to corners and you will be drafting MOUs for them to your own advantage. I would like you to think twice. I would like you to think twice. In addition to the security gadgets that Theobald may be putting in place to make sure they clamp down on whoever disobeys their rule, God is equally there. God is equally there that follows you up. Godliness with contentment is great gain. Whatever you are doing and you don't have the peace of God in your heart, in your spirit, you have missed it. You have missed it. So I stand here and now to give warning to as many people as go to plan things different from what is obtainable. You have to be warned. You have to be cautious. You have to be godly. You have to be grateful to God. You have to appreciate whatever God has done for you so that we can enjoy the provision that God has given to us. Good morning.